Well, hello. It's nice to see you. I'm glad that you've chosen to spend a little bit of time with me, and I'm going to use this time to teach you something about bird watching, about a way to identify birds. Each week, we will spend a little bit of time learning something from how we observe birds. Sound confusing? It'll make sense when you watch this. So please, let's see what we have in store for us today. Today's lesson from bird watching will be a lesson from hummingbirds. Hummingbirds do a tremendous amount of work to stay just in one place. They're the only species that can do that. They hover by flapping their wings back and forth. It's similar to treading water. You know how you move your arms forward, then you turn your hands and move and push the water back, and then you do it all over again? Well, if you could do that hundreds of times in a minute, you might be able to take off and fly. We're not built for that, but hummingbirds are. Now you can also imagine how much energy that takes. That burns an awful lot of energy to do that. So it better be worth it, right? And it is worth it because they are hovering in order to get their food. And the food gives them the energy to hover. It's a cycle. Do you know what the most common part of a hummingbird's diet is? I know what you're going to say. You're going to say it's nectar. That sweet, sugary stuff that you might put out in a feeder. And by the way, if you do, make your own, please. Don't use that stuff with red dye because it's not good for the birds. Yes, they're attracted to red, but your feeder can be red. Don't make the food red because the dye that goes into that is hard for the hummingbirds to process. No, the most common element of a hummingbird's diet, some species at least, is spiders. Can you imagine? Spiders. It's because they can hover and pick a spider off the web, something that other birds would have a hard time doing without getting tangled up in the web itself, but they can pinpoint it by hovering right there and snatching the spider. And it has the added benefit of then having an unattended web that they can take and use to build their nest. Their tiny little nest, about the size of a dime, maybe a quarter if you're lucky. It's remarkable what they're capable of doing and how they can find the energy to keep doing what they're doing. And that's our lesson for today. That if you are doing the thing you're made to do, it will be easy for you, even if it's a lot of work, but only if you find a source to give you the energy that you need. So now, the lesson is yours. What did you learn? What does it mean to you from what you gathered in our time together? It's going to be different for each and every one of us. That's what learning is like. And I hope that in all of this, you will see that God has created a beautiful, wonderful, spectacular world with all these differences in part so that you will know that you have a place in it, and all of it can make you feel better. It can make you feel wonderful that the world is so beautiful. So I hope that whatever you learned in this time will be something you can apply, you can practice in your life this week, every week. And maybe you will have something to share that you learn, and I would love to hear it. And others would love to hear it. So as you go from this time, go out and explore. See the world. Find what God has in store for you. And tell others about it. Until next time, bye.